Welcome back everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a video on how to do the fishing hook trap as black. This is actually a very good trap you can try to do, and not only in the Spanish opening. Now in the Lopez, which is also known as Spanish opening, white brings the bishop to b5, and in the main line you can push the pawn to a6. You can also play Berlin defense with knight f6, but we're going to look at pawn a6 first. Generally, the bishop goes back to a4, but if your opponent does the exchange variation, you can capture back with the d-pawn. This is going to be important. The reason why we capture back with the d-pawn is it opens the bishop's diagonal, and it also opens the queen's front. So it is going to be important to capture with the d-pawn. Now, if white actually captures this pawn, this is not something going to be super effective. As black, we can bring the queen to d4 to attack both of them. So that is going to work out pretty well. But generally speaking, white doesn't capture that pawn. Instead, they can do a castle. If they do a castle, we can bring our bishop to g4 because at the beginning of the game, development is very important. So we want to develop our bishop, and it also pins this knight. Usually they push the pawn, they bring the knight out, the game can continue that way. And now after that you can also develop your pieces, you can move the bishop, move the queen to a castle. Black is going to be fine. But things get interesting if white pushes the pawn to h3, trying to capture our bishop. We can now push the pawn to h5 to attack this, to protect this bishop, even though this seems like a terrible idea, because now we're going to be losing a bishop for the price of a pawn. This is actually going to be an excellent plan, because now our rook is super duper open on this file. We're also attacking the opponent's knight, so they will have to move it away. They can capture our pawn or they can move it back. If they move it back, right away we bring the queen to h4, we want to capture it, do a checkmate. Maybe the opponent wants to make an escape square, like if we capture that, the king can try to escape from f2, and then maybe like e2. But if pawn goes to f3, we can actually attack the white king right away. You can push the bishop to c5. Now again, if they move the king, you can just do a checkmate. If they block with the rook, you can also capture that if you want. After the king goes to there, you can push the pawn. White is in a very difficult position right now. But you can also capture that with the queen, and then after they go over here, you can try to do a checkmate with this pinned knight. So that will be even better. If you are wondering why they can't push the pawn to d4, they can, but you just capture that with the bishop. Since your pawn is protecting it, the same exact thing happens. So after bishop goes to c5, this is a pretty much loss for white. If the opponent were to move the knight to e5, then again you bring your queen to h4, but now after f3 we don't have the same bishop c5 move. Okay, this is going to be attacking the opponent's king, but now since we lost that pawn on e5, they can push the pawn to d4 successfully. Instead, guys, you can push your pawn to g3 to block this square, and now again we want to do a checkmate. So this is how black can do this fishing hook trap. And now this is one of those ideas that can happen in a variety of positions. For example, okay, if the opponent did that and you develop this knight, and let's say they do a castle. Now I wouldn't recommend this for playing every single position against higher rated players, because we are losing some time moving the knight to g4. But if you bring this knight to g4 and then they push the pawn to h3, you can again push the pawn to h5, and the same exact concept happens. We can try to do the same trap. Yeah, usually this works against beginners, people who are below 600 rated, and after the pawn goes to h3, same plan. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We are uploading videos every single day. See you in the next one. Bye.